Hello, everyone. This is my project, Mental It, and I'm super excited to introduce it to you. So the reason why I started this project was because I felt like there was something missing and people were feeling a bit left out via social media. This is a place where you can kind of be vulnerable, open, and it's an honest space, and it's a place where you can feel safe and speak about everything that, your trials and tribulations that you may be going through. So my first guest today will be Mark. So we can give a round of applause to Mark.
Hello, everyone.
So just to give you, to catch you up to speed, so me and Mark met in business law.
Yes, we did.
We met in business law class.
We're young lawyers.
Yes, business law class, and immediately we kind of instantly connected.
Yes.
And
the professor was over us, though.
Yeah, definitely over us. And I told him about this project, and I knew from the jump that I wanted him to be a part of it, and so that's why he's my first guest, and I'm so excited to embark on this journey with you. So thank you.
I think I'm more excited than you because I really want to pursue this a lot. So it's happy that it's come to fulfillment. So thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna learn a little bit about Mark and what who he is. We're gonna get right into it. So, you were originally born in Jamaica, correct?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so can you give us a little bit of a synopsis of what life was like growing up there?
Interesting. Life as a kid was very carefree. You have no responsibility other than school. The sun was always shining. Mangoes everywhere. So
not mangoes.
Oh yes, mangoes. Yes.
So as far as family traditions, how would you say that was in Jamaica versus what you see here in the States?
I think our tradition back home is more family orientated. A lot of Sunday dinners, big family Sunday dinners like Thanksgiving. You only see that once a year here, and then you see that every Sunday. The fried chicken. Well, I sound Southern, I'm Jamaican. But again, that is the thing that really I urge that my family do Thanksgiving every year because of that, to bring back the memories.
Yeah, I think that's something that my family definitely does as well. I mean, we only get together once a year, but I think that's just also some black families. We don't some black families, not all black families. We do just get together those special holiday seasons. We don't really rally around each other at least in my family, we don't do that.
But again, there's a lot of restaurants around, and it's media, society make you go to restaurant with family and just do it that way. But again, cooking your own meal does save a lot of time and money. Yes.
So Mark, are you ready? Are you ready for
Are you guys ready?
Are you guys ready for the questions that I'm getting ready to ask Mark? So
I'm scared.
I'm going to get right into the first question, which is, what would you say one of your biggest fears is?
That's a tough one. That's really tough. I think my biggest fear is dying alone.
Dying alone?
Yes.
Can you tell us why?
Growing up with a big family, because I was one of 8 kids, and I think always having that support, always have people around you, and whatever emotion that you go through, they're always there. So it's dying alone is what have your life become? Why there's nobody around you in your time of need? So.
And how many siblings do you have?
8. Well, 7. I'm 8. Yeah.
Wow. So I come from a family. My mom had 6 children.
6.
And I'm the youngest of the children, so I'm the baby.
You're the baby. I was the 5th, so I was not no baby. I didn't get no silver spoon.
I don't have a silver spoon.
I just got the hand-me-downs and, I was big-boned.
I didn't have a silver spoon either. I had to work hard for everything I goddamn got.
Are you cursing? I thought we was Christians.
We are not Christians today. What would you say inspires you the most, whether it be in general or currently right now? What is something that really inspires you?
I think different. So differently, I get inspired by a lot of things, but I think my friends really inspire me to be a better person, a better human being. Because again, each friend, is a different aspect of me. So I think that really inspired me to just impact them emotionally as well. But nature also influenced me a lot, and especially with my designs. And
Oh yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Mark also is into fashion design, and he does amazing sketches. So we will show that later on.
No,
yes, we are.
No, that's copyright. What you mean? I got paid for those. But yeah, nature and friends and family.
So what would you say is one of the ways, or many of the ways, that you cope with pain?
Oh, snap. I didn't know this was coming. Well, pain come in a lot of different forms. 2 years back, I lost a friend, my best friend of 20 years. So it was tough. I got the news alone. I was celebrating my birthday the night before. And the mom called me and said, she passed. And it just threw me. Like, my whole face just, I don't know if my face could get red, but I think it did. But again, to lose somebody that I confide in, I call every night, say goodnight, and it's no longer there. That really, but again, having those friends around you to support you, I think that's really, got me through it. Mm-hmm. I still have my days where I do like miss her, and I wish she was here.
And how do you deal with that?
I'm grown now. I know to deal with a lot of things. I have a big turtle shell on my back. And I think that's why I'm a strong human being right now, because again, the world throws a lot of stuff, and it's how you bounce back. So I think that's what how my mom was so strong back in Jamaica really influenced me to be a strong person. Yeah.
So would you say that your mom inspires a lot of the way that you deal with those type of pains?
No, I think what I see her go through, and the person that she is now, I think that transformed me to be okay. She have gone through a lot. She did a lot of sacrifices, and she's still a strong Black woman.
I love it.
Ah! For president.
What is one of the ways that you start every day?
Before I usually
hit you with the double whammy.
For real, like I wasn't. My boss better not be watching this. You gonna get me fired? I get up, like everybody does. I get up, the alarm go off, and I turn it right off and go right back to sleep. But again, I get up when I want to get up, and just like my regular regimen, make sure this face is looking cute. But other than that, I start juicing now, because I got a cruise coming up, so I have to make sure that my body is snatched. So I've been doing juicing like celery, ginger, and stuff like that. So I'm pitching that, okay? So yeah.
Belly be gone. #
belly be gone. Yes.
So wait, when did you start? When did you start juicing?
I started like 2 months ago, and it's doing good. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in 2 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see any results?
After the show. Tune in.
What would you say is something that you had to unlearn about yourself? Like, it could be anything. Like, for example, like I asked someone that question before, and they thought they could have toxic tendencies, like in terms of how they react to certain situations. Like, okay, maybe I can unlearn that habit, because it's not necessarily a good one, because it affects people and I'm not really aware of it. So what would you say is something that over the years that you delved deep within yourself and you said, oh, I need to unlearn that pattern, that's not a good one? It could even be something that you told yourself internally, that even thoughts, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think everything I learn or do is with a lesson and like consideration of others. So it's like I'm not doing something to like really hurt someone's feelings or put up a persona that I'm something that I'm not. But I think I'm too friendly, I think that I could unlearn for a little bit to tweak it. Cause
Really?
again,
You think you're too friendly?
yeah, I be getting the crazy people. Like, they won't leave me alone. So I think that I should, like, unlearn. But no, I do.
No.
I'm a people person, so that's not a. I don't know. Come
I
back
wouldn't.
to me.
I wouldn't say.
So what you
being
think?
being friendly is something you need to unlearn. Like,
It's-
I think
it's
I'm talking
naturally, it comes
about,
naturally.
like, maybe if, like, you're doing something and you're like, shit, you feel doubt settling in. What? This is very candid.
Can you stop cursing?
This is
I'm a
very
Christian.
candid. This is very candid.
Sundays. I don't know. I really don't.
All right, so we're gonna get back to that question.
I think when it comes to work, because I'm a director, I feel like I have that controlling factor at times where I do when things.
But you're a Leo, right?
That got nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
So when it comes to, like, say I have an event, right?
Uh-huh.
And my staff know that I'm under pressure. I do a lot of stuff. Like, I make sure everything is perfect. So when it's not, or getting there, I do lash out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But not in a mean way, but I do have those, like, looks that be like knowing, like, to move out of my way. Like, I'll be like,
So basically, you're very aggressive.
at that time, but I'm a sweetheart.
You're aggressive at work.
No, in certain events.
So when you're under pressure, you're more aggressive.
Because I want to get it perfect and please everybody. I'm a people pleaser.
Okay, so then that's maybe something you need to unlearn, right?
No, I'm pleasing you. I'm pleasing y'all being here.
Stop.
Just write me the check.
And would you say that you're hard on yourself? And if so, why?
I think so.
Why?
Because I see a lot of things going on and I feel like I don't want to be in that space. So I'd like to be like a little laid back. So people carefree, they do whatever they want, right? So it's like, I'm young, I got a job, you know. I could be that too. I could let go, I could travel. So I think those kind of stuff like really like hold me back from, my mind hold me back from doing those things. Like, I feel like what would happen if I do, like, you know, because again, I lost a sister in 2015. And in my mind, I was like, every time I have fun, something bad happens. Just like when I was celebrating my birthday, my best friend passed. So it's like, I'm not saying it's because of that, but it comes across, am I having too much fun? You know what I'm saying? So it's those.
So you feel guilty about having fun?
Yeah.
So would you say that those specific events that took place, be it your sister or your best friend, has pretty much left an emotional scar of some sort or trauma trigger on you, and that's why whenever you feel like, oh my God, I'm getting ready to do something that's so spontaneous, as something as simple as planning a trip, you feel guilty?
Yeah, but I think I learned to grow because I did start planning trips, and I guess it depends who I'm going with also. That does make it a difference. But again, I think that does happen when I'm having too much fun. I feel like there's some negative is coming, like something's gonna happen.
So
not to me per se.
So that not to you per se, but something in general.
Like a family member or a friend, yeah. And again, I'm really emotional with people that I do like connect with. So it's like I want to make sure that they're good at all times. So it's like if something does still happen, it does take a toll on me.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that about him at all. So a lot of what you guys are learning, I'm learning right along with you guys. So
Yes.
this is very interesting to me. The next question that I have to ask you, I'm gonna write a memoir.
A
about
memoir.
You. A memoir.
Of Mark. Sure.
You don't even know what your last name is.
I was trying to say my last name for the people out there. You're trying to Google me on Match.com. Did I weak right?
I don't know. How would you define happiness, Mark?
Happiness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like if you
When
could define,
you're
if you
happy, how that song go? Oh.
That's not the lyrics.
You guys, okay. I never know the lyrics to songs, but happiness is just feeling joy, like your face lit up when a person or something new happens to you, unexpected. That's happiness.
And
Always cracking.
And since it's Pride Month.
It is Pride Month.
It is.
It is.
So, how was it growing up being gay? Can you tell us a little bit about the struggle?
Wait, I'm gay?
Yeah.
You know that? Shoot. Call the rabbi.
Some of the adversities that you faced growing up, being gay within your community and also your family, also just like a different type of culture, I feel like, especially with Jamaican culture. You hear so many Caribbean culture. In general, you hear so many different point of views and stigmas about how they feel about gay people. And I know you grew up in Jamaica, and then you shortly came over here. So when did you know that you were gay, and how was that experience?
Well, I always knew I was different and gay. I just know now. But anywho, when I was back home, it wasn't a main focus. I was pretty much about schoolwork, making sure I do whatever my mom tell me to do. Just live, pretty much. It's when I came here, I really start diving into the meaning of it. Because
what do you mean by diving into the meaning
actually
of it?
Exploring what it means to be gay, because I already know I have the feeling that I was. So it's like coming here, being more free and less judgmental, you would say. But I didn't feel judgment when I was there. My friends are very supportive.
You're talking about back home in Jamaica?
Back home. I don't feel like I was pressured to be to close off myself. Again, it's people from the outside that do judge you that really make you think. But I think for young people, you should not make that limit from who you are at all. Like my favorite RuPaul said, if they ain't paying your bills, pay those bitches no mind. Sure.
I can't.
Yes.
Can you look at the camera and offer some words of advice to maybe some people who are a lot younger, struggling with their identity on how to come out, and maybe because as you know, a lot of families don't always support the gay community and their children. Even they kick them out. That's why we have foundations like Robin Hood that help put those kids in places where they need to be and they feel safe. So what would be some words of encouragement that you could offer to some of those people out there watching?
So what I would say to you, my young gay brother, sister, everyone, believe in you and live for you. Times may be rough, but there is a rainbow at the end, and I think you will be very happy when you know you're there. Just continue being you. You will find that person, a friend that you could confide in, that really open your mind to more possibilities. So again, you are loved. I love you. Terrence love you. So don't give up the fight. Okay? We love you.
So you spoke about quickly. I'm gonna kind of revert back. Hold on. I'm gonna revert back to your first gay experience, because you said when you came here, you kind of experienced or whatever.
My mom gonna be watching this.
Did that? My mother gonna be watching this too.
Oh, my leg is asleep.
So what would you say, what was that gay experience like for you? What did you feel? Because I spoke to some people and they said, oh, when I had my first gay experience, when I finally figured out that
What is
a
gay experience?
I guess being with another man, or if it's being with another girl or whatever, and that guilt that comes. I remember speaking to someone, I'm not going to call their name out, but they said, oh, I've always felt like I was gay, and then when I had my first gay experience with this person, in the moment it felt good, but I still felt guilt after it happened. Did you experience that?
No, I feel like I was confident, I was comfortable with that person, and it wasn't okay, we're not doing secretively, and it's we're not hiding behind closed doors. So I think at the age that I really experienced it, I was at a point where...
How old were you?
I don't remember. But I was more independent, so I think that really put a little light on it, because again, I didn't have to care about what other people was thinking of who I'm growing up to be.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people that I do care of their opinion of who I am. And
who are those people?
So my stepmom, who I call mom, my mom,
Hi,
of
Mom.
course. She's in Jamaica right now, actually. Shipped her off. Shipped her off. But when I came out to her, I feel like her response were more genuine. I think her response is what I wanted to hear. It's not what TV or movie like picture a person should hear. But I think her response, and I think today we still have these debates like, would you come to my wedding? And as a traditional Caribbean Jamaican woman, she doesn't want to hear that.
Your stepmom.
My stepmom.
So your stepmom accepted the fact that she came out to her, and she didn't fully
cried.
Accept it, right?
She
because
cried.
She
cried because she was scared.
Scared for what your life would be like.
And what would happen to me, people were very negative at that time when I come out. So it's like, there's no much awareness for it at that time. Pride wasn't really
celebrated
fully,
the way,
yeah.
Got it. And so you asked her the question about your wedding. And
this was recently too.
Question about the wedding?
Yeah, I always ask her, like when I go see her, I'm like, so I'm getting married, so you coming?
And what
I
she
don't want to
say?
hear
You said
that.
it jokingly, or did you say it like...
At times, I started that way because of what a conversation we was having, and it's like, I push it into there, and then I was like, would you come? Because I would like you to be there because you're an important person in my life. So it's like, you have to be there. It's no wedding without you there, because I was asking her a question about a person that I know, like, if they're so damaged, how do they seek to heal, and whatever. Then she was revealing something about herself, and I was like, Mom, I know I told you the secret like a long time ago, but it's like, you still haven't fully accepted yet. But she said, I still love you,
and you came out to her years ago.
This was high school, actually.
Yeah, you passed high school.
This was high school days where I came home and I was like, because there was rumors in the church. I feel there was rumors. Kids from school was talking about it and whatever. So I don't know if it got to her. So I was like, I don't know if people was telling you stuff, but I want you to hear from me. And I flat out told her I was scared for the response because, again, this is somebody I really care for. I wasn't looking at her when I said it. So all of a sudden I just hear crying and whatever. So I went close to her, gave her a hug. We embraced each other, and, she's scared. So we still live in it now. I think over time, is getting to know the person who I am, the person who I am becoming, and it's a journey, and I'm happy to take it with her.
Yes. I'm so excited.
It's still changing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing
No,
that. Would you say that she's one of the people that you find yourself having to please? I know that's a tricky question.
No, she does have high standards, especially in school, which pissed me off sometimes. So she was like, what are your grades? I would tell her my grades, right? They should all be A's. I'm like, Mom, what did you get when you was in school? But it's like, she always wanted me to be the best that I could be, and I think, like, that will always do, but it does, she knows she pushing my buttons when she say that, because I'm like, what is 2 + 2? But no. I'm stopped. But like, but yeah, I think it's not pleasing her, just make sure that she's happy.
Got it.
Yeah. Because we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I first came to America, that's when I met her. She was with my dad. Then I went back to Jamaica because apparently I was fighting in school and not listening, and that's not what my mom taught me to be. So my dad shipped me back, put me on that boat. Sorry, no, it was not a boat. It was planes at that time. I'm not a dinosaur. And I came back and I was trying to like see what happened to her, and luckily I was walking this way and I saw her, and that was a couple of years I've not seen her, and I broke out in tears because she was there for me, Yeah.
And you mentioned your dad. So
when I mentioned
you just mentioned your dad.
Who said that? I never did.
So the relationship that you have.
Oh, you son of a.
with your father.
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's a very conflicting one. We've spoken about it before, but I've never really asked you, because the thing about me is when I ask people questions, like, I can tell their level of comfort or whether they feel comfortable answering the question, so I won't probe it.
Gadget.
You know I'm nosy as fuck. I won't probe it too much out of the person unless I have to get the vibe and see if they're comfortable enough.
What vibe are you getting now?
You comfortable because you're on this chair?
I ain't got no other place. I don't know where I'm at.
So
Uber can't get me.
Can you kind of walk us through the relationship that you have with your father?
Okay, so let's go way back. So in Jamaica, I didn't know who my dad was. I thought my younger siblings' dad were mine, or my dad.
So your mom was, you grew up with him, so your mom, you kind of figured in a way that it was your dad too.
Yeah, because
was it ever spoken about that he wasn't, or you just?
I know he wasn't because we don't look nothing alike. But because he was there and he was the man of the house, I feel like I gravitated to him. But I found out my dad when I was coming up here when I was 9, and then I moved up here to him. I get to know him. He's a very strict. He's loving in his ways, and I'm grateful that he brought me here and my brother. So our relationship now, I think when I came out, when my mom found out, my real mom found out, he was the one that said to her, like, why she's acting that way, which was shocking to me.
Your dad was in defense.
Yeah.
For
so
you.
I was shocked.
So your mother, your biological mother, was the one that kind of.
Yeah, she was like, no, disowning and all that stuff, which we talk now. We have a good relationship now. But again, he came to my defense, so that put a light on it. And I think that's what these kids need. They need that father figure that's going to be there to continue to whatever. So it's like, I want to say thank you, Dad. But we haven't been spoken because, again, he retired. I just been living. When I was ending high school, he retired and went home. So my brother was taking care of me at that time. So it's like my brother became my father figure, you would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
And my dad come every 6 months for a couple of weeks. I know a couple of days when he's here. Daddy's here. But again, that's the retired life. So,
yeah.
I want to be.
And what would you say? When was the first time you think that you experienced heartbreak? Like, do you remember what that felt like? What was the first time? Be it your childhood or be it something that happened maybe recently. I don't know. I think I probably know what it is, but I want you to share the story.
You want to tell me after? Because I don't know.
Hey,
tell me if it's something different from what I'm saying. I think it was into my young adulthood. Like, I care for this person. I know he cared deeply as well. But circumstances wasn't allowing us to be together. And I think that, because we invested so much time, right? And it would have been over years that we have not spoken. I've seen each other because we was overseas. So I think that does take a toll, and my heart is still
healing.
But I could say I was generally in love with him.
And or do you still?
I feel like if he come out of the woodworks, I'd be like, yes. but I don't know. I really did care for him, and I think he did too. But it just the circumstances wasn't allowing us to do that. And I think that he's working on that, because I caught myself the other day reading old messages from years back, and it was like, I do keep stuff. I'm like a diary keeper. But I was reading everything, and it was like, there was something truly here. and I just sad that we did part ways the way we did, and it was in a time that I really did need him, his support.
And the support was the passing of your best friend.
Yeah, and my nephew, sadly.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I knew about your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's something that I'm learning as we film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this project for me is so raw and organic, because yes, some of the things I do know, but a lot of it I don't. So I'm learning along with the audience.
Like
I know the gist of it,
the
but like
intro,
to
but
intro,
not the full,
but not the full detail.
Yeah.
Which I'm so happy that we're here having this conversation on this couch, because I feel like this is gonna open the door for a lot of people who may be dealing with this particular situation or holding in a lot of those, how to cope with that pain. And we're here to let you know that this is, again, a safe space where you can talk about those problems. And I'm gonna have so many other guests on this couch.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And inspire with their conversations and their stories, and having grit, to be quite honest with you. And I have one last question.
Oh, is it a wrap already? Oh, snap.
If you could leave the people with one thing to think about, what would that one thing be?
Impact someone in a positive way, because you never know what they're going through. It may change your life. So influence positivity everywhere you go. Every day you wake up, every day you step out the door, because truly that person that you may encounter may really need it. Yeah.
Mark, I want to say thank you so much for being a
Thank
part
you
of
for
Mentally.
having me.
I'm very excited again to have you here and be along this journey with me and inspiring me also. A lot of the things that you guys don't get to see that this amazing person does is we have long talks, and he really inspires me, and we bounce off of each other with our ideas. And I think that nothing is a coincidence in why we met each other. And this is so this is going to wrap up part one of my Mental Lit series. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you leave feeling inspired. And for more information on how you can possibly be a part of this journey, I'll leave the information below, and we can potentially connect. Thank you for watching.
Find me on Match.com.